Hey, what up? It's Carter from the Peekaboo Boxing Academy, and in tonight's video, what I want to talk to you about is the boxing stance in the Peekaboo boxing style, otherwise known as the Cus style here at the gym. So my name's Carter Weber, for those of you who do not know me. I train fighters here at Cus D'amato's gym in Catskill, New York, and I was personally mentored and trained by fighters who grew up with Mike Tyson himself and who were trained by the late, great Cus D'amato and the great Teddy Atlas. So this topic is a very important one, and it's a very crucial one because, over the years I've seen many different, videos online on how to do the Peekaboo style, the Peekaboo boxing stance. And while they're informative and while people are trying to help, they get things wrong. Is the stance like this? Is the stance like this? I see a lot of different renditions of it. So today what I want to do is I want to teach you the end-all, be-all official video on how to do the stance in the Peekaboo boxing style, otherwise known as the Cus style here at the gym. All right. So that being said, I want you to lock in. I want you to take some notes, and I want you to start practicing this tonight. And as always, let's crack into it.
A professional fighter is going to learn how to hit and not get hit, at the same time be excited. That's what professional boxing is. You got to be clever, you got to be smart, and not get hit. And when you're able to do this, you're a fighter.
All right, so how do you do the stance in the Cus style? All right, so it's very simple, and I'm going to explain, the whys. I'm going to explain some of the mistakes that people make and all that after I show you how to do it. So to start, you're going to start right here as such. Lay your arms at the sides, all right? You're going to pull them up like this, boom, and you're going to close your fists. You're going to have it turned out. You're going to have the wrist straight up and down, and you're going to put your fists right up against your cheekbones, right below your eyes. Not up here. I know, there's some videos out there of Mike doing it like that. It's not the way that it was generally taught, all right? You want to keep them right here, right? Because if they're up here, then all this is exposed, all right? So keep them right here, all right? And you want these to be protecting the ribs, all right? It's not like this. It's not like this. No, it's right here, okay? From there, the next step is, where do the feet go? The feet have to be out as such, all right? The feet have to be out as such. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to pull my foot back just like this. I'm going to turn my front toe in just a little bit so I can grip the canvas better. And this toe is going to be in line with my back heel just about. And it's going to be cocked out a little bit. Be cocked out a little bit. So it's not going to be totally forward like this, just cocked out a little bit, so that way I can grip the canvas better and I can shoot right hands out of this stance. All right. So I'm right here, I'm pulled in, and what you're going to want to do now is you're going to sink into the stance just a little bit. So I don't want to be upright like this. Instead, what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of a bend to my knees, and I want to tuck my chin in, okay, as such. And I don't want to, tuck it in super hard. Rather, I want to just rest it on my chest as such, and just be looking up here. So the end result, it looks like this, all right? It looks like this, okay? Now, the other thing that you want to have as well, that I almost forgot to mention, you want to be a little bit up on this back heel, all right? If you are flat-footed as such, you're not going to be as mobile in the ring. You're not going to be able to, shoot yourself forward. You're not going to be able to, be backwards and have that nice base that you can sit back on, all right? So that's important as well. In terms of weight distribution, generally, I like to put about, 55% of my weight on my back foot, because that's the one that propels me forward. That's the one that keeps me, the most balanced. And then I want to have about 45% of my weight on the front foot, all right? Now, while you're in this stance, what are some of the nuances? You don't want to be super tight and constricted, because then what's going to happen is you're going to gas yourself out when you're in the ring, when you're training, when you're sparring. Right? You're going to be using too much oxygen trying to keep everything tight. So what do I tell my fighters? I tell them you want to have a tight defense, but you want to keep your muscles relaxed, okay? So I'm not here like this. No, I'm just here like this. I'm just nice and relaxed. I'm just nice and relaxed. Oh, but Carter, another thing that comes out. Oh, but Carter, it's hard for me to keep my chin down and to see my opponent, to see his face. Don't worry about seeing his face. All you need to see is just see this right here. If you can see this right here, it'll tell you what the other guy's going to do in a fight. When you get calm and relaxed enough, every little twitch of the muscle that comes from here, from the shoulders, it'll tell you which punch that guy's going to throw. You see this? Oh, this guy's going to throw a left. You see this? He's going to throw a right. You're going to be able to see it when you get calm enough, So that's super important. Don't worry about seeing his face. And a lot of guys will try to trick you with their face. They might try to mean mug you. They might try to intimidate you. They also might try to look one way. You know, they're looking down here, and then all of a sudden, bah, they come up top. So don't worry about his face. You don't even need to see his face. All you need to see is this right here. It tells you everything when you're calm and relaxed enough, all right? Now, why is it so important that we stand more square as opposed to most, more bladed, like in most boxing styles? Because in most boxing styles, in most traditional martial arts, you're more bladed, you're more of a skinny target, You want to be a small target so that there's not as much coming your way. It's a lot more dangerous, in fact, if you're this big square target. So why are you doing it? Why are you doing it like that? Well, the reason that you want to be a square target is because in Cus D'amato's style of boxing, we treat offense and defense as a 50-50. When you're all shelled up like this, right, you can't effectively move left and right. You can effectively move, you can effectively counter, but just in a different way. But you're going to be more defense-oriented. If you're more bladed, again, you're not going to be able to slip left and right. When you're square, what it allows you to do is it allows you to slip over, and it allows you to basically create openings by slipping over, right? And then you can fill those openings with punches and bunches, with combinations, with hard, fast punches with bad intentions, right? Just like how Cus D'amato designed it. Everything's intelligent design in this boxing style. So the defense sets up the offense. Slip, boom, I counter, right? Slip, boom, I counter. The defense sets up the offense, but also the offense sets up the defense. You're this big square target. You're using your footwork that you learn here on the channel. You're coming forward. You're drawing these punches. This guy thinks, oh, this guy's a big square target. I'm going to try to hit him. So what's the key? You're going to be this big square target, but in this style, you have to become a master at becoming elusive. You have to be elusive and aggressive. Can't have one without the other. So many people online, they just try to, mimic Mike Tyson by watching like Mike Tyson training compilations, like some Tupac music video where he's training at like 1 trillion miles an hour, and then they try to go in the ring and do that, and it's a disaster. They get teed off on. It's because you didn't learn the things that Mike learned. You're practicing advanced stuff when you need to spend the first year just doing basics and then adding that stuff on as you go. Most people don't know that though, right? So here's your chance. Write that down. Don't try to mimic Mike. Don't try to do the advanced stuff. Don't just be a square target and not be elusive. No, you need to have those ingredients. So you need to learn how to be elusive. And we have videos on the channel on how to do that, right? So you got to watch those. They're very important. So this big square target, and now you can slip effectively. You slip at the waist, right? I have videos on how to slip. Now you can slip effectively from here, right? And now, boom, I can slip effectively. Boom. I can throw off of those openings that I create. Super important stuff. All right? So that's why we're square in this stance. It's very simple. We treat defense and offense equally. Now, another thing, you have to be balanced when you're doing this boxing style. Balance, perfect balance is everything in Cus's style, right? So what does that mean? It means that, you can't necessarily, you can't not have your balance and try to do these different evasive maneuvers or try to slip because you're not going to be in position to punch. So what do you do to get the balance? You're going to do an exercise that we call the twist, and you might have seen Mike doing this online. Basically what the twist is an exercise that allows you to test your balance. All it is, and we have videos on it. I've done another video on how to do the twist. I suggest you go watch it a little bit more in depth. But all you do is you just get in that stance, and it's all at the waist. I'm right here, and all I do, I twist, and then I twist back the other way. And the key is that you don't lose any balance. If I twist and my feet are like this, or if I twist and my feet are like this, or if I twist and my balance is forward, or if I twist and my balance is backwards, no good. You want your feet to be exactly the same as when you started, and you want to lose no balance. In doing this exercise, when you warm up every single day, you'll be able to test out your balance and the style. Oh, maybe I need to put more weight back here. Everyone's different. Some people have more muscles in their front legs, their back legs. Everyone's a little bit different. Oh, I need to put more weight back here. I need to bend a little bit more, right? It's going to teach you and it's going to allow you the opportunity to work on your balance. So the twist you need to do every single day. Alternate left and right. Do it for 30 seconds to a minute at a time. every day when you warm up. And it's also important that you have a mentor with you to point out some of the flaws. Hey, you're making this mistake. That's why you're unbalanced. It's important to have mentors as well, right? But what are some of those mistakes that people make? Some of the mistakes that people make in this stance. One, they're right here. You're leaving everything open. You can't do that, right? Again, you rest here. You want to rest your arms on the rib cage. The other one is the hands are kind of like this. What is that going to do? If your wrists are bent, right? If your wrists are bent, when your opponent, he or she throws a glancing blow at you, it glances off your gloves. What's it going to do? It's going to go right into your temple. So you need to have these straight up and down, right? When I'm here, straight up and down, straight up and down. Locked in, locked in. All right, don't have them bent, don't have them facing towards you. What are some of the other mistakes that I see people make? Their feet, their legs, they're too skinny. So that's cardinal, mistake number one. Their legs are too skinny, their stance is too skinny. If you're too skinny like this, you're not in position to punch and you have no balance, right? There's nothing there. So don't be too skinny. What's the other one? Naturally, too wide, right? It's cardinal sin number 2. Your feet are too wide. If your feet are like this, you're not going to have good mobility. You're not going to be able to punch off of your movement. No good. So you don't want your feet to be too wide either. Cardinal sin number 3, you're too square. If your feet are like this, completely square, you can't get anything off your punches. Even if they're just like this is still pretty damn square. You don't want that. Pull the foot back a little bit. Pull the foot back a little bit, cock it out just a little bit so that you can grip the canvas, so that you can get some power. You can plant your feet and get some power into those shots. I can't plant my feet from right here. So I'm not going to get any power off of this. So don't be too square. What's a good rule of thumb? You want your feet to be shoulder width apart. All right, so if I'm in my stance, when you walk down the street, you're shoulder width. Your legs are pretty much shoulder width apart. Same thing in the stance. All I want for my shoulders to be pretty much over my feet. If they're outside, too wide. If they're inside, too skinny. I want them to pretty much go over each of my feet, all right? And that way you're going to ensure that you have proper balance. So if you do it the wrong way and you're wondering, why am I just not balanced? Think of those 3 cardinal sins. Also think about the other things that we talked about. Where's your foot placement at, right? Do you not have enough bend in your knees, right? Are you leaning too far forward or too backwards? In this style, you want to have a bit more of a forward momentum to you. So I want to lock my pelvis in place. I want to almost sit down just a tiny bit in that bend of my knees. And I want to have a little bit more of a forward momentum. Now that being said, I don't want to be out here like this, and I don't want to be up here like this, because then I'm out of balance. So these are all little nuances that you're going to have to work on, and it's not overnight. You might not even get it on the first week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but you will get it eventually through repetition. Everything in this boxing style, everything in Cus D'amato style, it's all about repetition. It's all about getting it in your nervous system so that you don't have to think about it anymore. And that's when boxing becomes fun, because now you can experiment. Now you're not worrying about, oh, where are my feet at? All right, so these are the nuances to the boxing stance in Cus D'amato style. This is how you do it, the Peekaboo style. We call it the Cus style here at the gym, right? So if you have all that down, if you can adhere to that, if you can learn how to be elusive, you're going to be super effective in the ring. If you make any of those cardinal mistakes, good luck. It's not going to work out well for you. All right? So I hope you were taking notes in today's video. I hope that you were practicing as you were watching even. I hope that maybe even recorded some things. You're going to go, you're going to go to the gym. You're going to go in front of the mirror. You're going to practice. I hope you were taking notes. This can't just be another video that you watch. Actually go apply it if you want to learn this style correctly. All right? So that being said, I want to thank you so much for being here, as always. And I will see you in the next video.